Returns, let's write and we see our possible answers for our mathematical literacy paper 2. Let's dive into the questions straight away. Question number 1. Define 1.1, define the term probability. Probability is supposed to be a chance. Probability is a chance something happens. A chance something happens. A chance something happens. Okay, explain the meaning of the scale. 1 is to 50,000. So all you're going to do, tell us that 1 unit on the paper, or you would say on the map, equals 50,000 units. You can say in reality, or you can say in real life, or on the ground. 1.5, 1.3, identify the type of scale below. This is what we call a bar scale. Someone else could have called it a linear scale. Okay? Measure in millimeters the distance from 0 to 15. That means from here to here. What is the distance? Now this will change according to your ruler, how you're measuring, but I believe it's in between 35 millimeters to 37 millimeters, according to mine. Okay, hence convert the answer in question 1.4, this answer that you've got here, in centimeters. So we are going to say, if you have 35 millimeters to centimeters, you divide by 10, and the answer became, don't forget the units. Okay, we got question number 2. Someone is planning to travel from Hammonds to Johannesburg to watch a rugby match between South Africa and Australia, scheduled for 16th of August 2025. The roadmap of South Africa that shows the national roads network is given on annexure A. Refer to the map and answer the questions that follows. So the next thing I've told us to look at, it will look like this. This is a map of South Africa showing all those roads that you see, the network. You have different national roads. All right. Okay, let's look at that and say, in which South African province is Hammonds found? So when you look at the map nicely, this is the place that we are looking at, this place here. This place here. So which province is it? It's this other province here. The province is with Western Cape. So here we're supposed to say, it's supposed to be Western Cape. Now, determine the general direction. General direction, the moment you hear general direction, simply meaning you're not going to tell us which roads the person is going to use, but we need to know north, south, northeast, northwest, or west, east. You understand? So let's look at this. They're saying of Hammond from Johannesburg. That means the person is in Johannesburg and Skype. So we shall say, look at that. We put our compass here. We draw a compass here like this. then which direction is this? Because it's heading this side. So this is south and west. So the answer becomes southwest. The answer here is what? Southwest. Okay. Identify the national roads that the person must use if he travels from Hamets and stops in Crawfordnet to rest. So let's look at that. The person is going to be traveling. Let's look at that. Let's highlight and you see it's from here traveling. He will go to George. Through George, he goes to Neisner. Neisner, he goes, then he rests here. You see that? So which national roads are you seeing here? So the national roads we are seeing, we have N2 and N9. So our answers here are supposed to be N2 and N9. Remember, they have told you national roads, so they're supposed to be 2. That's why you see there are 4 marks, and each is 2 marks. Okay, use the scale of 1:10 million to determine the actual distance in kilometers between Hamad and Johannesburg as the crow flies if the distance on the map between these 2 cities is measured as 14 centimeters. So what we're going to do, they have told us to use a scale. So what we do first, we should write the scale. I'm looking at 2.4. I write down my scale, which is 1:10 million. So that means 1 unit on paper. But for us, we don't have 1, but we have 14. That means it will be 14 will equal to what? So what do? We cross multiply. Now, when you cross multiply, simply meaning you get 14 times the 10 million. And the answer you get here, this will be what? Centimeters. I believe you will have to get something to do with 140 million. 140 million. These are centimeters. But we want these to become kilometers. Why do you want it to be kilometers? Because they're asking for to determine the actual distance. So what do? We shall divide by, now centimeters to kilometers, we divide by 100,000. So these 3 zeros will go with that. These 2 zeros will go with these 2. So what do you remain with? You're remaining with 1400. These are that's the answer. That is the answer for question number 2.4. If it is recommended that drivers on long distances trip should take a 15 minutes break after every 2 hours of driving. Why do you think this is important? 1, for them to refresh. 2, to avoid risks of causing accidents because they are tired. Number 3, to avoid fatigue. To reduce on the fatigue. You understand? That physical, you get tired when you're driving. So for them to refresh, that's all. Okay, let's look at question number 3. Question number 3 talks of Mrs. Van der Merech is preparing a meal for her family. She uses the recipe below to prepare the butter puffs. That's how they look like. Let me go below. This is the information we shall use. These are the ingredients. Okay, let's go there and you see. They're asking us, how many dozen puffs can be prepared from this recipe? Remember, a dozen equals to 12 items. 1 dozen gives you 12 items. So how many items are these? They are 12. So here the answer is supposed to be 1. It's 1 dozen. All right. How many eggs are needed to prepare 36 puffs? What you're going to ask yourself from 36, how many dozens do I have? I have 3. and come back to the recipe here. Come back to the recipe and ask yourself, because we are looking at eggs. For 12, how many eggs do we need? We need 3 large eggs. So that means we shall need 3 times 3. The answer becomes 9. 9 eggs. All right. That's another story there. Someone else would have said, let me write it down. I need a little bit of space. Okay. Yes, they're telling us. Now, this one could have been 12 puffs. You need 3 eggs. What about if you have 36? Ask yourself, what is it? All right. Now, another thing is that ask yourself, if it's 12, you have 3. Then what will happen to that? Now, for 12, it became 3. What did they do? They divided by 4. That means you also here divide by 4. So the answer becomes what? 9. All right. You can ask yourself that way. What else can we do? We shall say 12 over 3 equals to 36 over a given number. See, this one gives us 4. Then what number divides 36 to give you 4? That's a question, which becomes 4 times that equals to this. So meaning you divide through by 4. So your missing number becomes what? 9. I'm showing you all options that you would have used. Okay, let's go back to question number. That was question number 3.2. 3.3. Mrs. Van claimed that the oven should be set to 420 degrees Fahrenheit. Convert the temperature needed to bake the puffs to degrees Fahrenheit to determine whether her statement is correct or not. Please, as a mathematical literacy learner, if you see a formula, please, this is an addition. What you do is to substitute correctly. One would have, let me see, one would have got, what's the temperature that we need? We need 150, look at it, 150 degrees Celsius. So we need to turn this into Fahrenheit. Why? We want to find out whether we shall get this. Should we get more than this or less than this, then the claim is invalid. But if you get the exact answer, should we get the exact number like this, then the claim is valid. Okay, let's go on and we see. Let's substitute. So I'm substituting into this formula and we find out and we say 1,8 times the degrees Celsius, this degrees here. So we shall say that much, close brackets, because they close brackets, plus 32. At this moment, don't fight. Just pick your calculator, pick it and you say, open brackets, 1,8 times 1,50, close brackets, plus 32 equals. Wonderful. So we got the answer as 302 degrees what? Fahrenheit. This is not the same as. So meaning her claim is what? Her claim is invalid. Or someone else would have changed the Fahrenheit degrees to Celsius, but this one would make it harder for you because it's not given. For those ones who already know, they would have said it's this much equals to this minus 32 divided by 1,2. All right. So now your aim it changes. Your aim is to find 150. If we put this into this formula of ours, working backwards. Okay, this could have been, you would say this equals to 420 minus 32 divided by 1,8. There's no 2 here. 1,8. Put this in your calculator. So it's 420 minus 32 divided by 1,8. The answer becomes 215. 215,55, which is not the same as 150. So the claim is what? It's incorrect. Or you can say it's invalid. Okay. 3.4. Convert 5 ons to grams. What are we going to do? We are converting 5 ons to grams, and they have already told you, we shall use this one here. Look at this conversion here. If 1 ounce or if 1 ounce equals, so you ask yourself, if 1 equals to 28,35 grams, what about if there are 5? This comes to your head and you ask yourself, what should we do? We shall just get the 5 times 28,35. Get your answer there. 5 times 28,35. And the answer becomes 141,75. These are grams. This is what they wanted. Okay, let's go to the question now there, 3.5. It says, determine the number of puffs. Determine the number of puffs that will be made from 2 liters of water. 2 liters of water. Ask yourself, originally, what do we have on this? Remember, the recipe that we have is for 12 of them. All right? What do we need? So, what we're going to do, we shall come here, or we shall go back up here and say, how much water do we need? Water that's needed, it's this one here, 1 cup. Yet they have told us 1 cup is equivalent to 250. Okay, put that in your head. Let's come down and you see. So, learn how to do this. We are saying 1 cup gives 12 of them, 12 puffs. Understand? The cup, it's not in liters, yet we are given liters. So what do? It's to change the 2 liters into cups. You ask yourself, how many cups will they be? But you can't just change. Remember, they have told you, if you only have 1 cup, you have an equivalence of 250 mils. So we shall change the we shall change the liters to mils. What do we do? Multiply by 1,000. So the answer becomes 2,000 mils. Okay, so if it's 2,000 mils, ask yourself, how many cups will it be? So we shall divide by 250. So here you end up having, this is approximately 8 cups. Ask yourself here, it's 2,000 divided by 8 cups. Ne? So now, if 1 cup produces 12, what will the 8 cups produce? That's our question. What will the 8 cups produce if 1 cup produces what? 12. That means we shall say 12 times 8, and the answer becomes 96. 96 what? Puffs. So from 2 liters, we get 96. 96. Someone else would have done this. Let me see. Yeah, someone else would have done this. Let me check. We've already seen that 1 cup equals to 250 mils. So 250 mils are equivalent to 12. Then, remember here we've changed already the 2,000 mils. What will they give us? Do the same, cross multiply, becoming 12 times 2,000 equals to 250. So divide through by 250, divide through by 250. When you multiply this, you end up, I believe you end up having 24,000. So 24,000 divided by 24,000, because it's 2,000, times 12. We have 24,000 divided by 250. You get 96. So we shall have 96 puffs. This one's also fine. Okay, choose the option that you would like to use. Look at question number 4. Study the extract of Peter's June exam timetable below and answer the questions that follow. A grade 12 June examination to 2025. Monday the 9th June, history is going to be written from 9 to 11. Those are 2 hours. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, the 11th of June, we have English file, paper 2 from 9 to 11, which is 120 minutes, which is true. 120 minutes, these are 2 hours. Eh? Isn't it? Yes. Life orientation written from 14 hours to 15 hours, 30 minutes. This could be, and indeed it's true, it's 1.5 hours. Then we come to mathematical literacy written for 2 hours, 2 hours. Let's look at the questions. A 25% increase in English file paper 2 writing time was requested. What time would this exam paper end if the request was or the request were granted? First and foremost, look for 20%, so 25% of the time needed. Now we are looking at English file paper 2. They have already told us the time is 125. So if you're to look for 125, so we shall say 25 over 100 times 120. What is this? So come to your calculator, say 25 divided by 100 times 120. You have 30 minutes. Remember, we don't need the 30 minutes, but they ask, what time would this exam end? Remember, initially it was supposed to stop at 11. So if they add the 30 minutes, this means it's going to add at 11 what? 30. That's what it simply means. Let's continue. Peter claimed that 2 mathematical literacy papers will be 16,500 seconds in total. Verify showing all calculations whether the claim made by Peter is correct or not. Now, these are the papers. This is paper 1 and this is paper 2. Remember, these are hours, but the claim made it's in seconds. Guess what we're going to do? We shall have to change our hours to seconds. And this is for mathematical literacy, and they're asking for, Peter claimed that the 2 mathematical literacy paper will be in what? Into. That means when you add them. So what you're going to do, first and foremost, you're going to ask yourself, what am I going to do? We've already said we're going to change hours. We're changing hours to seconds. And the easiest way to do this, change hours first to minutes. Then minutes, you change it to seconds. Anyway, hours to minutes, we multiply by 60. And minutes to seconds, still we multiply by 60. Okay, so paper 1 has 2 hours. We shall multiply by 60. We have 120. Multiply by another 60. You end up having, these are seconds. So since paper 1 has this time, also paper 2 will have the same. So what do? We multiply by 2. When we multiply by 2, we said it was 2 hours times 60. We got that, again times 60. We got that. Then this one, we're multiplying it by 2. We have 14,000, sorry. Yeah, we have 14,400. These are seconds. So we compare them with his claim. His claim says, in total, there will be 16,500 seconds. So the claim is what? It's invalid. The claim is invalid. Why? The time we've got, it does not match what he claims to spend. Let's look at the other question. It's here. Peter recently went on vacation and stayed in Denmark hotel. He used the map below to help him identify different tourist destinations. Use the map to answer the questions below. Now, look at that. First and foremost, we have to identify where is the hotel. It's told us Denmark hotel, so it's this one here. Where was he going? Okay, describe the route that Peter would travel if he exited the Denmark hotel at Walker Street entrance and intended to visit Mary Rose restaurant. So those are the things that you need to look at. We've already identified the hotel. So this is the Walker Street, okay. Then where is he going? He's coming to see the Rosemary restaurant. So there are two ways, or there are very many ways. So if he exits on Walker Street, he can either come down here, then he goes, then he turns here. That's the first option. Then the other option would be he can turn into this other road. He uses that. He goes like that. He comes like this. He comes. Remember, these are options because they never said the shortest. Okay? Then someone else would have chosen the person coming into that. Then he comes down here. He turns there. Comes that. That's another option. I'm looking at all options. Let me use the last one. Someone could have used this one here. Come down straight. Then he comes here. It goes like that. It comes back here. So as you're explaining, please, what do you need to do? You tell us the turns. What that way, does it turn right? Does it turn left? Number two, mention the streets that is using. All right. Number three, you tell us where the destination is. Is it on the left? Is it on the right? But please mention the turns. Don't mention of let him go south, let him go west, because this one won't work because it doesn't have a compass. You understand? Mention the turns. For example, when he uses Walker Street, the first option, the green one, he will come onto the road, then he will turn right. He walks up to here. When he reaches here, he will turn another right. He comes this other side. He goes through the conjunction, then slight left. The destination will be on the right-hand side. You have to talk about that. If he used the other road, but I also mentioned the streets, because if he leaves, okay, he enters, turn right on Walker Street, then turn left on which street? The Strickland Street. You understand? He goes towards the conjunction, which is South Coast Highway. He passes through the South Coast Highway conjunction, slight left. You understand? The destination will be on the right. If he uses the one which was on top here, you would say that on Walker Street, what does it turn? He turns left, then he continues towards, he moves straight towards the Holdings Road, then he goes through the conjunction, he goes to Holdings, then he turns North Street, turning into Strickland, then by then to be his right. On his right, he turns into Stanforth, then the road will be the restaurant will be on his right. Okay, this is what we are looking for. The turns, mention the streets. Which turn is it taking? Is it right or left? Which street is it turning into? This is what we wanted you to tell us. Okay, This brings us to the end of this question. Hope you passed. Thank you.